everybody, Noreen here from Organized and Creative Mom. Thanks so much for joining me today. I've got the July 1-2-3 sketch and layout for you here, and I'm doing this as part of our Creative Life Scrapbooking PJ party. Once every few months or so, we get together and have an online pajama party. And we choose one particular collection, and all of the team members or some of the team members from Creative Life Scrapbooking create projects and share them with you on our Facebook page. And we invite you to scrap along with us and share your projects with us. So my contribution for the PJ party today, using our Rainbow Rush collection, is the July 1-2-3 sketch and layout. So I mentioned we're using Rainbow Rush, and it is a huge collection of products that was released in July here from Creative Memories. There are 3 different paper packs. The soft, which has, slightly more pastel tones, a little bit more light and bright. The cheerful, which has more saturated, true reds and yellows and blues. And then the bold, which has much more sort of smoky and dark, muted tones. All of them are beautiful, and all of them will coordinate with the various flowers, title embellishments, laser cut embellishments, borders, and sticker packs. So it's a huge assortment of products that you can use interchangeably. For my 1-2-3 layout today, I'm going to be using a paper from the Rainbow Rush Bold collection. I just fell in love with this rich, beautiful, almost autumnal color palette with the navy, the dark green, the goldenrod yellow, which is the same as the cardstock I'm using, and that nice sort of ochre red, crimson red color. On the back, there is a really pretty navy washed or ombre sort of pattern, and I think that's going to work beautifully on the goldenrod paper for my 1-2-3. Now, if you haven't done a 1-2-3 before, we use one piece of the double-sided pattern paper, and the key is that it's double-sided. Then we use 2 pieces of cardstock for our base, and then we make the whole layout with just 3 cuts. So it's super fast. So let's take a look at the sketch. This month I've got space for 6 photos, and I've shown both 4x6 photos as well as 4x4 photos. But if you have all 4x6 photos, you can definitely use full-size 4x6. If you have a horizontal orientation of photos, if you tend to take more landscape photos than vertical or portrait form photos, then I'm going to show you a bit of a variation that you can do after we get it all cut. Now, the cutting guide is pretty straightforward. We're first of all going to cut our 12-inch piece of paper straight down the middle at 6 inches. Then we're going to stack both pieces. Then we're going to cut through both pieces at 0.5 inches, and that's going to give us 2 0.5 by 12-inch strips. Then we're going to keep the remaining paper stacked, turn it, and cut through at 6 inches to give us 2 5.5 by 6 inch rectangles. Okay, so let's do the cutting here. Now, when we're going to be cutting this, I always remind you to take a look at your paper and figure out what is going to be the best cuts for you. Because I would like my strip that's going to be running across to be the dark solid navy, I want those strips to come from, the darker spots along my paper if possible. That's not going to be the easiest thing to do because I'm actually going to be cutting it in half, and then that would mean once I stack them, there's going to be a 1/2 inch strip here and a 1/2 inch strip from about here. So I think what I'm going to do is cut down this way, and then when I stack my papers and cut, I'll get a strip that has both light and dark in it. So let's go ahead and cut it at 6 inches. Open up our trimmer there, and I've got my straight blade in the housing. Just press down and cut. All right, and then as you can see, both of my papers will be, again, light at the top, or both of my strips, sorry, will have light at the top and then dark at the bottom. All right, so I've got both my strips stacked, and I'm going to put this in at 0.5 inches. I like to do my small cuts. They're always a little bit more finicky. I like to do my small cuts going this way with my trimmer so that I don't have a lot of extra paper kind of falling off the side of the trimmer here and not being supported. This way I can hold it in place and get a nice clean cut. So I've got 2.5 by 12-inch strips, and now you can see that when I put them on my paper, I can either join, you know, the two ends to be dark in the middle, or I could join the two ends to be light in the middle. So we'll see how that looks. All right, and then I'm going to keep my two pieces of 5.5 by 12-inch paper stacked, turn it sideways, and cut at 6. All right, and that is all of my cutting done. So I'm going to be putting, let's see, that's the 6-inch side there. So I'm going to be putting that luscious print there. And then my navy will go right beside it. And then down here, I think I'll flip this so that, again, both the kind of the lighter sides are going towards the center. And then my print again on the outside. So let's have a look. I could either put, now these aren't going to match up right in the middle, they're going to be slightly offset, but I could either put my light parts towards the center, or I could do a bit of a contrast and put the darker bits towards the center. Okay? So again, it's one of those things you just kind of have to play with and decide what you prefer. And of course, I sort of was thinking I would do the navy side, but maybe I will do the floral side. So anyways, you decide whichever way you want to do yours. Now for my photos, I've got some photos of my husband and I last fall going on a bit of a motorcycle jaunt. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen these photos. My husband is a motorcycle aficionado, has a few different bikes, collectors and vintage bikes, and then he also bought himself a brand new, it's sort of like buying your first brand new car. He bought his first brand new motorcycle, which was a Moto Guzzi, and we had to go out and test it out. So we really had a great time riding in and around the Calgary area. Went down to the Chuck Wagon Cafe in Turner Valley. And then, of course, you can see the beautiful mountains and the foothills and the prairies all in the same spot. So we're very blessed to live here. So that is really the layout there in and of itself. Now, I did mention that I would show you kind of how to vary this if you have mostly landscape photos. So I just have some little cards that I make up. I think I've shared this idea on Instagram before as well, but I just use some of my little scrap pieces of paper to create little templates so that I can play around with them and see how a layout might look if I want to change it around. So basically, if you wanted to do this layout with mostly landscape photos, I would recommend, I really like the navy, so I'm just going to flip that over there. I would recommend that you put the shapes to the outside, and then you can just sort of do the same thing and, kind of just stagger or place these photos just slightly askew down that center section. And of course, if you had some 4x4 photos, you could put the 4x4 photos there instead, and that would give you, your layout. So whether you do it with the horizontal photos or the vertical photos, you can use this particular layout either way. So don't forget to go down to the link that you'll find in the description below the video to get your copy of the free handout, which will have the sketch, cutting guide, instructions, and a photo of my finished layout. All right. And don't forget to head over to the Creative Life Scrapbooking Facebook page, where you'll find more projects made with the Rainbow Rush for our pajama party. And if you like and follow our page over there, you'll see lots more inspiration, including Border Maker Mondays, Feature Project Fridays, blog hops, and all kinds of good stuff. All right, so we hope to see you over there as well. Thanks very much for spending some time with me today. I always appreciate that you choose to check out what I'm doing. I hope it makes your scrapbooking easier, and I hope I'll see you again.